after the game ended. The Fever lost that matchup by just 2 points, 85-83, but the final score barely mattered compared to the frustration everyone felt afterward. Caitlin Clark looked furious during the post-game interviews. Coach Stephanie White looked exhausted trying to explain how the game spiraled so far out of control. And Fever fans immediately began waiting for the rematch because everybody knew there was no chance Indiana was simply going to forget what happened. The history between Caitlin Clark and J.C. Sheldon only added even more fuel to the fire. These two had already battled for years, dating back to their college days when Clark dominated at Iowa and Sheldon played at Ohio State. Every matchup between them carried tension. Sheldon always played Clark aggressively, shadowing her all over the court, bumping her on screens, pressuring her non-stop, and trying to frustrate her mentally as much as physically. Their rivalry had become one of the most talked-about matchups in women's basketball, and by the time the June 17 rematch arrived, emotions were already boiling before the opening tip even happened. Caitlin Clark had also just returned from injury after missing time with a quad issue, and she came into the game playing with confidence after a dominant performance against the New York Liberty. You could tell from the moment Clark stepped on the court that she remembered everything from May 30th. The way she stared across the floor during warm-ups. The way Fever players talked to each other before tip-off. This team looked locked in emotionally from the beginning. The game started with the same physical tone as the first matchup. Sheldon guarded Clark tightly on every possession, bumping her, reaching, and making sure Clark felt pressure any time she touched the basketball. Fever fans inside the arena could already sense the frustration building because every possession looked like it was one step away from chaos again. Then came the moment that changed the entire game. During the third quarter, Clark was bringing the ball up the floor when Sheldon reached in attempting to make a defensive play. But instead of getting the basketball, Sheldon's hand caught Clark directly in the face, poking her in the eye. Clark's head immediately snapped backward and she grabbed her face in pain. The crowd erupted instantly because everyone inside the arena saw exactly what happened. Clark, frustrated and angry, reacted naturally by pushing Sheldon away from her after getting hit in the eye. It wasn't some wild overreaction. It was a human response after someone jabbed a finger directly into your eye during a heated game. But instead of calming the situation down, the officials somehow made everything worse. Marina Mabrey rushed into the confrontation and violently body-checked Clark to the floor in a moment that shocked the entire arena. This wasn't a basketball play. Clark wasn't even looking at Mabrey when she came charging in and knocked her down. Fever players jumped off the bench immediately while fans screamed at the officials to do something. Clark hit the hardwood hard, staring up in disbelief that another cheap shot had just happened right in front of the referees. Coach Stephanie White exploded on the sideline, pointing furiously and screaming at the officials.